Here's my review of The Boys Season 5, the final season. I'm going to be 100% honest because, I think I've said that. I mean, it's been so long since the previous seasons and my reviews. I've never been as big of a fan of this show as so many others are. So I will say I didn't really go into this season having as high as expectations. I kind of just expected it to be more of the same, which is a show that I like. I just don't love it like so many else do. I'm just not as big of a fan of the cynicism of the show. But, and I will say this, I think that this season has a great ending. And this show, the final season, the final episode of this entire show, has a great ending. But I think that the season as a whole was just good. Let's talk with some of the positives. And I think that the A Train's death was, I think, very great. It was the whole slow motion scene was awesome, and I thought that it was genuinely pretty emotional when he died. Like it was a good death. And of course, you got the over the top gore that just makes it a lot of fun. Classic The Boys. I will say though, like a lot of this season to me was just kind of like the final episode. I think was great. But I feel like literally because these seasons are so short, it's only 8 episodes. The first 7 episodes, like, it didn't really blow me away. Like, there's some cool, like, there's some good emotion, like with Frenchie's death, and there's some good stuff with Kamiko in there. But to me, I'm just never really as I was never personally as invested as these characters as so many other people are. So it just didn't really hit the same for me, and I just didn't care as much as many people. Like I think that the dynamic with Butcher and Ryan was still really good, and I think that it allowed for his death to feel really meaningful. But like, it's just for me, it's never going to mean as much for me as I think other people as it will for other people. And they set up a lot with this show. Like in the teaser, they show like Homelander essentially becoming the president, which is cool. But the problem is that doesn't really happen until the very end of the show, and that's when the big battle happens. And like I said, I think that this finale is great. I really do. I think that the whole fight between Butcher and Homelander felt so satisfying. It was so cool. Seeing Homelander get depowered was really cool, and seeing how he's basically helpless and how shows how pathetic he is without his powers. I've seen some people kind of complain about this and how he wouldn't just break down and immediately beg for mercy. And I've thought about this. And some people say because of his cockiness and his arrogance would still get in the way of it and he wouldn't break down and cry. But when you really think about it, Homelander knows that he's nothing without his powers. As arrogant and as like self-centered as he still is not completely delusional in that sense. And that's what makes him a true psychopath, is he really does know what he's doing. So seeing him just break down in tears and beg for mercy from Butcher is genuinely really emotional and really funny at the same time, which just makes his death that much more satisfying. Like this is genuinely a very satisfying death, but at the same time, as satisfying as it is, something about it also just didn't feel as like oh wow, we finally beat him. To me, it was still satisfying. But even at the very end of the show, I was still like, yeah, that was pretty good. I liked it. I think that all the stuff with Huey and Starlight is also great, and I think that they get a really great ending. A lot of the characters do. I think Kamiko traveling is great. I think Mother's Milk gets a great ending, and I really like Huey and Starlight, Annie's like ending with Annie being pregnant. I will say it is kind of weird that I believe they're gonna name the baby Robin, was the name of Huey's dead girlfriend for the first episode who got murdered. It just seems kind of weird, but it still ends in a sweet, like, kind of bow on top. But as I keep saying, like, at least for me, like, I don't really have that much to say about this season because, and also there's like so much of it where it's just a setup for Vought Rising with Soldier Boy because he doesn't even really play into the plot at all. He's clear. It feels so forced just to set up their spin-off show that's coming out next year. And it's like, why is that even? It's like I feel like you could have cut him out of this season, and it doesn't make any difference. And I don't think that this was bad. I thought it was good. But to me, that's all it was to me. It was a good season of television. I thought that the finale itself was really satisfying. The last episode I thought was great. But there's so much of this that just feels like a bunch of setup and stuff. Just not as compelling stuff. Still great. All the stuff with Homelander is still great. And I like Huey. But, like I have to keep reiterating, this show has never been as compelling to me as it has been for so many other people. And that's fine. And I think that if you are a massive fan of this show, I think that you're going to love this season. I think that it's going to have a lot more that you love because it is, in many ways, more of the same, which, don't get me wrong, I like. And I thought the Deep's death was really satisfying as well. There's a lot of great stuff in here. But to me, it kind of felt like the first, like, 6-ish episodes were kind of just like, yeah, we're kind of just doing stuff. And also, like, characters like Sister Sage just felt so wasted. Like, she's the smartest, her power is that she's the smartest superhero in the world, like the smartest person in the world. And her master plan is just like, yeah, I want the world to burn just so I can sit in a bunker and read books for the rest of eternity. Like, what? I will say, like, the stakes do feel high with Homelander wanting to reach more immortality, but even then, it never really felt as high of stakes, considering it never really felt like Homelander could get killed that much until he finally got weakened at the end. It's good. It just felt a little hollow to me. Like I said, it's good, but it just felt like it was too fast because it's all 8 episodes and a lot of it just feels like setup. And Homelander being weakened from like the anti-Vought, anti-V, compound V. It just felt like a cop-out. Still a good season. It's still good, and I think that it was better than season 4. But it still felt like the show kind of should have just ended in season 3, to be honest. It felt like they could have had a great ending there. But I still I thought this was a good season of television. I liked it. But it was kind of always going to be like this for me because it was never going to do anything to totally get me to love this show. And it still is more like, I liked it. It was a good finale. I think the season as a whole was good. The finale was great.